The Committee of Inquiry convened to look into the death of Corporal First Class Aloysius Pang has found that the incident was due to lapses of all 3 servicemen involved at the time, including Pang himself. Defence Minister Ng Eng Hen shared the committee's preliminary findings during his ministerial statement in Parliament today. The incident occurred during a military exercise in New Zealand in January. Now, at the time, Pang was carrying out maintenance work to correct the accuracy of the Singapore self-propelled howitzer, otherwise known as an SSPH. John Leong takes us through what happened.
This is what a Singapore self-propelled howitzer, or SSPH, looks like, but let's take you inside. You'll be able to see that there are 3 safe positions that we've labelled for you. During the incident, the gun commander was in safe position 1. He's marked out in yellow for you on your screen. Meanwhile, the regular technician was in safe position 2. He's marked out in blue, and on this occasion, he was unscrewing a box as part of maintenance work. As for 28-year-old Pang, he was removing the screws on the other side of the box. Findings show that he was not in a designated safe spot. On top of that, his back was facing the gun barrel. Now, the technician informed Pang that the barrel was about to be moved and told him to either move closer to him or to another safe spot. But Pang replied that the barrel would not hit him. The commander saw him standing near the barrel but wrongly assumed that Pang had time to move away. According to available information, it takes about 9 seconds for the barrel to be fully lowered. So the commander went on to shout, "Stand by, clear away," as required by protocol before moving the gun. Now, as the flick rammer was moving up, Pang was still removing screws and looking back at the barrel. He initially did not move away. But as the barrel moved closer, the commander saw Pang try to make some evasive movements. The technician tried to push down on the barrel with his hands to stop it, while the commander attempted to do so by using the main control screen. The COI believes that both men had panicked and acted irrationally by not pressing the emergency stop buttons like they were supposed to. You can see there that the buttons are within reach. And as a result, Pang was wedged between the flick rammer and the interior of the SSPH, fatally injuring him.
Our reporter Ahmad Khan shows us what it's like to be inside the vehicle.
Now, this is what it looks like inside the SSPH. As you can tell, there's not really a lot of space to maneuver. Where I'm standing now is one of the 3 designated safe spaces. There is an emergency stop button here. Now, if I take a step forward, this is where CFC Pang was standing and doing his maintenance work when the incident happened. This is not one of the safe areas. Now, if I turn your attention to this seat here, this is where the gun commander sits. It is another of the 3 safe spaces. The main control screen is here, and there is another emergency stop button above it there.
There was also a 3rd button that could have stopped the lowering of the barrel.
This is the other safe position. The regular technician was standing here. Now, this is the box that CFC Pang and him worked on. And this here is where the other emergency stop button is.
The Committee of Inquiry determined that there was non-compliance with standard operating procedures. There were also preventable safety breaches.
None of the 3 men followed the requirement that all must be in safe positions when the barrel is moved. And there was also non-compliance with the maintenance manual. It states that the technician must ensure the gun is in a parked position with the barrel locked before maintenance work can start.
Now, instead, the technician had proceeded despite the barrel not being in a standby or locked position. The COI also opined that several factors contributed to the incident. A lack of coordinated safety procedure between the gun and maintenance crew, starting maintenance work before the barrel was in a locked position, misjudgment of time and space, and the failure to activate the emergency stop buttons.
It also established there was no mechanical fault that directly caused the incident. It said the medical care was adequate under the circumstances but can be improved, and that it did not cause or contribute to Pang's death.
The COI and a panel of safety experts have made recommendations to improve safety culture in the Singapore Armed Forces. Defence Minister Ng Eng Hen said in his ministerial statement that Aloysius Pang's death could have been avoided if safety procedures had been followed.
It is sad but undeniable that the direct causes determined by the COI that resulted in the death of Corporal Pang were preventable had there been compliance to safety rules. It was not for lack of knowledge of these rules or inexperience of personnel working on the SSPH gun.
The COI proposed ways to prevent similar incidents and strengthen the safety system. They include reviewing standard operating procedures and emergency drills, ensuring all servicemen take personal ownership of safety, and complying with the SOPs. These were supported by the External Review Panel on SAF Safety, which also gave recommendations on how to improve safety culture. For instance, the panel said commanders should take the lead in safety so that their subordinates follow suit. It also said that the SAF should do more to instill safety awareness in soldiers and accord the same high level of emphasis on maintenance safety as it accords to training safety. Lastly, it added that safety procedures for operations involving servicemen from different vocations should be strengthened.
There is also a need to see how, through exposure as well as getting the people involved in whatever way, for example, getting them to participate in reviews of systems and processes, training safety regulations, all that would bring about a sense of involvement and ownership, which is very important. Yeah.
Dr. Ng said the SAF has accepted the recommendations from both parties and added that the SAF Inspector General's office will ensure they are followed through. Following the Ministerial Statement, nominated Member of Parliament Associate Professor Walter Teixeira asked if the incident pointed to any systemic lapses.
Did any personnel involved ever declare that there might be operational reasons to not follow aspects of the SOP?
There were no reasons operational why they didn't comply. The reasons given was that they wanted to get on with it. They couldn't wait for the few seconds and for whatever reasons.
Dr. Ng added that it wasn't a widespread issue as the incident involving the SSPH was an isolated one. It was the first since the gun started operations 15 years ago. Responding to another question on whether more could be done to reduce human error, Dr. Ng said it boils down to safety awareness.
You have to take care of yourself and your buddy, and you have to internalize this. And we found, in fact, a gap. Well, we're paying a lot of attention to live firing exercises. One would think that the risk assessment, that in maintenance you don't have the high risk, and yet here you have an incident where you ignore the safety rules and something very tragic happens.
In Parliament, Dr. Ng also gave an update on the SAF Special Investigation Branch on the incident. He said it was nearly completed and that the branch will report directly to the Chief Military Prosecutor to decide if any servicemen will be prosecuted in a military court.
The SAF has implemented a slew of safety measures following the incident. These include marking out safe and dangerous areas and involving NS men in safety reviews. Here's Ahmad Khan again with more.
These full-time national servicemen technicians have been tasked to remove a generator from an engine. But first, they must develop a plan, review potential risks, and do a dry run. It's part of measures to enhance safety in maintenance-related work.
By going through the dry run, right, it enables them to know what they are supposed to do and talk through first before starting on the job. This will greatly minimize any incident from happening.
My intent is to drive it top-down as a culture whereby every trainee that come through me have the emphasis on safety. Think check do emphasize heavily, day in, day out, through the practicals, through theory, through engagement with myself. So these drills are done on a daily basis.
Apart from drills, safe positions and dangerous areas will also be marked out more clearly in military vehicles, like in this Singapore Self-Propelled Howitzer or SSPH. All soldiers will also be required to take a safety awareness test yearly, and safety advocates will be appointed in the units to conduct checks.